Hello everybody, welcome back to Propel 1.0 and I'm super excited to have you guys back here. I'm going to be your moderator for today's session and my name is Abdulakim Aisha. I hope you guys had a wonderful session yesterday. Okay, before we proceed with anything, as a patriotic citizen that we are, I would love us to take on the national anthem. So before we do that, make sure your audio, video and your network connection are all stable, right? I'm sure you got that. Okay, so let us stand up to recite the national anthem together.
Nigeria, we hail you, our own dear native land. No tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria, tall and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be our symbol, that truth and justice reign. In peace, all power to honor, and peace we come as gain. To hand unto our children, our banner we all sing. O God of home creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria shall be blessed.
Thank you very much for that. So the next thing we are going to do is to recite OAU school anthem. So guys, let us recite it together.
Africa's most beautiful landmarks. Oceans, vigilant, progressing, and whose are against all oppression. Backward never for learning and culture, sports and struggle, great effect. I love you. There's only one great effect in the universe. Another great effect is a counterfeit. Grace, 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 grace.
That was very wonderful. I'm super excited to be your moderator for this session. Okay, so the last session, our facilitator discussed so many important topics, right? And trust me when I tell you that today's topic is going to be even very more interesting. So before we dive into today's business, I have two important announcements to make to you guys. So for the participants that are here, for those of you that are watching me, guess what? Okay, so now my announcement is this. For number one, for those of you that are watching me, we have prepared a free giveaway that is worth of 500 naira airtime to the first 3 participants or to the first 3 people that are going to put down their name and their reservation code down in the comment section. Did you get that? I'll take it again. For the first 3 people that are going to put down their name and their reservation code down in the comment section, we are going to be giving you a free giveaway that is worth of 500 naira airtime. Are you excited? I'm sure you are. So the next announcement is, I'm excited to tell you that our debate is going to be commencing next week Saturday, and believe me when I tell you that our panelists are on ground to do justice to the debate. We are going to be discussing so many interesting topics on that day. I'm excited and I'm sure you are as well. Okay, so now let us go into the main business for today. Yesterday, our facilitators laid so many foundations on interesting topic, and today we will be building on that foundation, guys. Okay, so now for those of you that missed today's topic, I will be introducing our facilitators and our guest speaker for today's session. In continuation of yesterday's session, First, we will have Ololade Adesiyu, who will take us into the world of UI UX design. Yes, you heard me correctly, UI UX design. She's going to help us dive more deeper into the world of UI UX design. So for those of you that missed yesterday's section, join me and pay attention as I read the profile of Ololade Adesiyu. Ololade Adesiyi is a seasoned UI/UX designer with a passion for leveraging technology to create innovative solutions. With years of experience across various industries, Ololade has led cross-functional teams in designing user-centered products that empower communities and foster digital inclusion. Oh my goodness. Her work spans multiple sectors, including tech, education, and the green economy, where she has consistently delivered high-quality, impactful solutions. Ololade is also dedicated to mentoring the next generation of the tech leaders and is also a vocal advocate for diversity and inclusion in the digital space. So guys, I would love you all to pay more attention and let us put our heads together as we welcome Ololade Adesiyi.
Hello, welcome. My name is Ololade Adesiyi and I am your UI UX design facilitator. Right. Let's get straight into it. Wireframing. But before we get into it, I'm just going to before we start exploring what wireframing is, before we start learning how to create wireframes, or in fact, I believe that by the end of today, we would have learned how to create wireframes for maybe, let's say, for apps and for websites, right? And that you would also understand what these wireframes are and why they are very important to your design process. So let's begin. What is a wireframe? What is a wireframe? So a wireframe is basically like a blueprint for your app or your website. Now, I'm sure some of you have seen architects, right? They design they design the plans for your houses that you live in. So before you start building your house at all, or before your parents started building their houses, they had to go meet architects that drew like a sketch of what the house layout is going to look like, right? So that's basically like similar to what a wireframe is. So before you start designing at all, you have to like come up with the layout of what your website or your mobile app, whatever it is you're designing, what the layout is going to look like, right? So like I said, just like people that build houses, it's architects, yeah, not the bricklayers now, it's the architects. Before they even start, the architects come up with like a blueprint of the house. So this is what the house is going to look like at the end of the day. So they just sketch and then they do like a plan layout too, exactly. So that's similar to what we would be doing in this wireframing. So there are certain things about wireframes that I would want us to know, right? With wireframes, you don't do colors, you don't add images, nothing fancy, it's just plain. If you've seen what do they call this thing? Plans, right? The plan of the house. If you've seen a plan of the house before, it's usually in like black and white. Nothing dramatic, nothing fancy. When you see the layout plan of your house, exactly, it's just in like black and white. So similar to wireframes. Wireframes are strictly plain, nothing fancy at all, right? It's just you planning what you want the layout of your website or the layout of your mobile app or web app, whatever you're designing to look like. Now, there are certain things about wireframes I would want us to know, right? First, your wireframe has to be simple, very simple, because it's usually just outlines. I don't want to start sketching and showing you guys now so that I don't go deep into it before we start. Or if you know what your mobile apps look like, your wireframe is just going to be like something like this. I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, it's just going to be basic, simple stuff like this. Very simple, just outlines, nothing too dramatic. Nothing too dramatic. You don't include colors, like I said earlier. You don't include images. You don't include nothing, no graphics, nothing, just outlines. Oh, I want my mobile app to have a button. Include images. You don't include nothing, no graphics, nothing, just outlines. Oh, I want my mobile app to have a button here. I want my website to have an image here. So you just sketch out the outline. You're not designing yet. It's a wireframe. It's a sketch. It's a blueprint. It's a wireframe. That's what it's called. It's a wireframe of the actual design you're going to end up doing. Then the next thing, apart from you making sure that your wireframe is simple, you have to make sure that you focus on how the app or whatever you're designing, maybe website, how it's going to work. Now, remember you've learned user flows earlier and you've learned about user personas. So now you're combining all of those things you've learned to make sure that what you are drawing, what you're sketching in your wireframe is going to be something that is going to give them the perfect solution to whatever frustration or whatever need they have, right? So you have to make sure that you focus on how whatever you're designing is going to work, and now the people that are going to use it, how they are going to navigate through it. So that is why you're coming up with a wireframe, to make sure that, oh, when they click on this button, it takes them to this page. Then you just sketch what is even going to be on this page. Then you just start sketching, okay, this is going to be here, this is going to be here. It helps you to like make iterations, changes early on before you start designing, designing properly, right? So now there is another thing. You have to make sure that it is something that, if me myself I just come up, I'm like, oh, what are you working on, without even seeing the design, you can just show me a wireframe like, oh, I'm thinking of putting buttons here and putting images here, what do you think? And I can like, okay, why don't you put it to this way, why don't you do it this way, why don't you do it that way? Exactly. So that's why wireframes are like important. So again, why do we use wireframes? So like I said, to make sure that before you even start designing, you have everything on lockdown. You've thought about every single thing. Is why you should do your wireframes. Imagine designing, you've designed maybe like 20 screens, and then you now realize that even the most important screen, you did not cover it. If you do your wireframe, when you look at it like 3-4 times, you're like, oh, I missed out on a page that is supposed to be in between these two. You can just sketch it and then take notes, right? So wireframes will help you as a designer to make sure that the ideas you have, they're like you like, it's like you go through your mind, you come up with different ideas. What if I put this here? What if I put this one here? It's not going to work, let me change it. You can just cancel it, like draw a line over it and start all over again, because there are different tools for wireframing. I mean, online tools, but you can also use your pen and paper to sketch your wireframes. But yeah, so with wireframes, they would help you to make sure that your ideas and your concepts are on point before you now start moving on to the actual design itself. So you can easily visualize how you want your elements to be fit together on your screen before you now start designing properly. Another thing that wireframes will help you to do is to help you focus on how your users will use the app, basically. So like I said earlier, it helps you to think about your users. So when you're already thinking, what will they click on this page? To get to this next page, how will they even get here? You draw another wireframe. Okay, this one has already taken care of this. Now, what will they do on this page that will take them to the next page? Okay, I need to put a button here. Exactly. So that's how wireframes work. And then with wireframes, before you even start designing plenty fine things, and then you now realize that you've done rubbish, wireframes will help you to quickly, like I said, quickly create and like iterate. You can cancel it, you can start over again. Imagine designing something very fine and only for you to now start all over again from scratch. How would you feel? Exactly. So with wireframe, you can look at it and realize that, oh, I've done rubbish here. I need to start all over again. I need to do this thing, or I need to fix this part. See this sketch or this wireframe I just showed you guys, right? If I decide that this is not going to work, I can just do this. I can just like run my pen over it and start all over again. Like, okay, that one will not work, so let me do something else. And then I start sketching. Okay, I think I don't want my image to be too big now, and then I want text to be here, I want text to be here. Okay, but I still want the button to be down here. Okay, maybe the user should sign up on this page. They should give me their email and their password here. Okay, so you see, I'm already thinking like without even designing itself properly. So when I want to start designing, I just have to look and say that, oh, okay, this is where I said my sign up page is going to be, and just continue designing. So that's why we as designers use wireframes, right? So I did this wireframe on a software tool online. I shared the what's it called, Miro, with you guys yesterday. So you can use Miro to come up with wireframes, and you can also use FigJam. I should show you guys FigJam, but it works almost like exactly the same as Miro, right? So yes, so we have different parts of a wireframe. I believe that now you understand what wireframes are. They are just blueprints. They are like sketches, layouts of what the actual design should be. And with wireframes, you can easily make changes before you even get to the point where you start designing proper, right? So again, we have, like I was saying earlier, we have different components of a wireframe, right? We have the header, we have our navigation bar, we have content area, we have buttons, we have footer. I think let me try to show you guys here. Okay. All right. So this is a wireframe that was done with what tool was this? I think FigR. Yes. A software. I can easily sketch this out too on my pen paper with a pen, but I just wanted to have something fancy here. So yes, we have the header. Headers are usually at the top. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. Headers are usually like somewhere at the top here, right? They're usually at the top of your wireframe, whether your website, whether your mobile app. If you are including an header, it's usually somewhere up there, and it usually contains some elements like maybe the app's name. In this case, I use structura, right? could include elements like the app's name. Maybe you can put maybe the logo. If you check your Facebook app, for instance, on your mobile phone, you will notice they have an header up here with the Facebook logo here, up here, and then they have like a navigation menu. You see 3 lines on the right, or maybe they'll put your profile picture, they put a notification button, something, but you definitely see the Facebook logo up here. That's for the header. Now, for the navigation bar helps you to move around the app easily, right? For instance, on this part, you have your home button, you have your search button, and you have your profile button. That is for our navigation bar. So it helps you to easily. It is displaying. This is a footer. So the footer contains links. It's usually located at the bottom of your wireframe, and it contains like external links that you could not put anywhere else on your design. So you have things like your about us, your terms of service, your privacy policy, stuff like that would be found on your footer. Then we also have this content area. That's this part, this entire section between the header and your navigation bar. So this is your content area. So this content area is like the main part of the thing, of the app you're designing, of the website you're designing. The content area is the main part. So it is where your users will see the information that they're looking for. So if I click on the home page, I should see information relating to the home page on this content area. If I click on my search button and it takes me to the search page, I should see content relating to the search I am looking for. And if I click on profile page, this content area should display information related to my profile, right? And then there's something else that I did not include here. Buttons, basically, but buttons are usually a part of your wireframe, but I didn't include it here because I was working with a web app in mind, right? Just a website, sorry, just display stuff. For your buttons, so when you click on things like continue, you think click on things like next, things like sign up, register, those things are called buttons. So buttons are usually very interactive. They are interactive elements that you click on to perform actions. So if you're trying to sign up, you've typed in your name, you've typed in maybe your email address, you've given them a password you want to use for your account. The part that would now save all of those information is the button you click on. Without clicking on that button, none of the details you submitted will be stored anywhere. So it's just like you're just typing for typing sake, right? So buttons are usually used to perform actions. So if I want to add a song to a playlist, I'll click on add to playlist. That is a button, right? So buttons are used to perform actions. Moving on, this is an example of a wireframe, like you can see here. But I will want you guys now, obviously, I know you probably don't like seeing this period coming, but you're going to create your own wireframe for a music app. We've done a lot of music related things, so let's just continue. So you're going to come up with a wireframe for a music app. Now the home page of your app will just contain a wireframe, or sorry, your wireframe is going to be of the home page of a music app. So it's going to contain the header, it's going to contain the navigation bar, it's going to contain the content area, and it's going to contain the footer, right? So how many minutes should we do this for? I'll say 10 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for you guys to come up with the wireframe. So remember, the wireframe for a music app, again, you can use your pen and your pen and your notes, your pen and your jotter. So if it's a music app, you already know you have your, let me draw a fresh one. So this is my container. This is my container. And then in here, up here, I'm going to have my header. Down here, I'm going to have my navigation bar. So I'm just going to demarcate like, oh, my music app. On a music app, I'm going to have my home page. I'm going to have a search page. I can have a page for like my library of songs, right? So I'll create another one. And then I can have a page for my profiles. So for my profile, sorry. So I'm just going to write profile, and then I'll write library. I'm already giving you guys expo. No. Then I'll write search and home page. So this is already what I have. I can see that. And then for my header, I can write maybe my music app, because I don't know, I don't have a name for the music app. So if we had a logo for this music app, I would put the logo up here on my header. But since I don't, I'm just going to write my music app, so that when I am designing, I know that I'm going to put the logo of my music app here. Then the content area, I think at this point I should leave you guys to just come up with your own stuff. So remember, the content area is between your header and your navigation bar. Do we need a footer for a music app? If you think so, please put it. But yeah, 10 minutes starts now. All right, so 10 minutes has passed. You guys, I believe that you've come up with a wireframe for your music app. But for your assignment, you're going to continue with that, right? With the music app. But this time, I don't want the home page. I want the page where you listen to music itself. The page where you'd click on play and pause. Exactly that page. So you're going to create a wireframe for that page of your music app, right? So I should be able to see from a wireframe, you should be able to tell, okay, this is where the person will click on play, this is where the person is going to click on pause. Exactly. So wireframe for that. Before you even start, let me just refresh your mind. To do this, you can use your mirror. I'm sure by now you're familiar with mirror. I expect you to keep playing with it when you get home in your free time, just to get a hang of it. You can use tools like mirror for your wireframe. There are other tools online. We have whimsical, right? We have balsamic, but just check out all of those tools and stick to one that is like you find easy to navigate or easy to use, right? So after you've gotten the materials you want to use, materials in this case being either your pen and paper, your pencil and jotter, or your mirror, or your balsamic or whimsical to draw this wireframe. Now start thinking of how you want your layout to look. Usually, like you've seen from what I have done, you will draw a rectangle, right? Then you can now start putting in things inside that rectangle. So you can start with your header, you can start with a navigation bar section, then you can create a larger rectangle in the middle for like your content area, and start adding elements to your content area. Remember, in your header, what you would see in your header, you'd see a logo, or your app's name, and then in the navigation bar, what would you see? It's still even showing here, so you can see that you would see the sections that you want users to be able to access easily from anywhere on the app, right? So it could be your home page, your profile page. In my case, for the one I drew just now, I had library, and then I had a search page. Then in the content area, you can think about how you want to display the songs. Will you show the song title? Will you show the lyrics? Do you want to include the play and pause buttons? Just think about what you want. You can check out other music apps that are available online or that are on your phone to see how they do their own, and then come up with your own wireframe. Make sure to focus on the layout. You're not yet designing, you're just trying to think about what the design is going to end up looking like, making sure that you cover everything in your wireframe, right? Good. So I guess we'll see. Before I wrap up, let me just remind you, refresh your memory from today's class. So wireframing is what we talked about today, and I mentioned that wireframing is a very essential part of creating user-friendly apps or websites, anyone. Now, with wireframing, it helps you to plan out where everything is going to be before you start adding colors, before you start adding images. It just helps you to make sure that you are designing the correct thing. You're not designing rubbish, right? If I ask you tomorrow, what are wireframes? I don't expect anybody to stutter. First thing you can say is maybe wireframes are help you to get feedback quickly early on in your design process before you design a lot of nice things and then you realize that it's not going to work. Right. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please make sure to do your wireframes. Please do your wireframes, and we will see in class tomorrow. Have a great day.
Alright, thank you very much, Ololade Adesi. That was a very wonderful and insightful session. I really learned a lot, and I hope you learned as well. So the next person we are going to be having, I'm sure you already know him, the next facilitator that will be taking us on the realm of cyber security is Inuwa Daniel. So pay more attention as I read the profile of Inuwa Daniel. Inuwa Daniel is a seasoned professional specializing in security, military, physical and cyber security domain with a strong focus on defense product design and innovative technological solutions tailored for desert and tropical environments, particularly in the Sahel, Savannah and Africa. His expertise is underpinned by his academic background in intelligence and security studies, as well as his role as an intelligence and security officer, where he integrates theoretical insights with practical application. Currently, Inuwa works with Peregrine Jardine Nexus Solutions, Proverex and their sister companies, while contributing to initiatives such as Start the Future Initiative, InStride Pathways Youth Foundation, and Gumbite Tech Service Limited, where he is both a member and an active contributor. In his spare time, he freelances, offering his skills to various projects and organizations. His dedication to education is evident in his efforts to teach cybersecurity to senior secondary school and undergraduate students using interactive and practical approaches to bridge the gap between the theory and practice. Additionally, Inuwa is a creative mind with expertise in tools like Blender, FreeCAD and Corel, leveraging this for innovative design projects guided by the motto, Beyond Limits. He exemplifies precision, innovation, and a commitment to excellence across all his professional and creative pursuits. So join me as I welcome Inuwa Daniel in order to take us deeper into the realm and the world of cybersecurity.
Alright, everyone, welcome back to the cybersecurity class. Welcome back to the cybersecurity class. Today, as promised, I'm going to deal with Kali Linux, right? I mentioned Kali Linux in our first topic. So, before we go on, I officially welcome you back to the cybersecurity subclass by InStride Pathways Youth Foundation, Propel 1.0. Welcome for that. Welcome to this. All right. Good day, everyone. Now we are going to go into Kali, and well, now I'm quoting Master OTW, which is Occupy the Web. You see, by our very nature, hackers are doers. We want to touch and play with things. We also want to create and sometimes break things. Few of us want to read long terms of information technology theory before we can do what we love most, which is hacking. So with that in mind, I'm going to go into the basics of Kali Linux. Well, not just Kali Linux, but using Kali Linux, we're just going to go into the basics of Linux itself. All right. Okay. Now, before we begin this journey, right? Okay, let's start with some of the basics, right? Some of the basics. First thing you need to know, unlike Windows, Linux is very case sensitive. So if you write this now, desktop, it's different from if you write, okay, let me pipe this. If you write this, desktop, is different, very, very different. Linux will think it is okay. Let me just hit this cd. All right, home, Kali, desktop, right? It's working well. I'm at desktop, but if I move to use desktop, let's see, no such file. You see, it's because when we go to the file system, we go to Kali, we go to desktop, you're not going to see anything as if small d. Okay, let's go to computer, Kali. All right, home dash Kali dash what, desktop, big D, right? Okay, I've shown you a few commands right now, even as we just finished this. All right, let me still go back, cd dash back. All right, let's cd. Okay, good, clear. All right, we should also note that binaries refer to files that can be executed, files that can be executed, just like we'll see that later on if you follow us. Now that we have a directory, it's just like a folder. We have home, which I've showed you with the home directory. We have root, we have the terminal, we have shell, and we have script. So I'll start by explaining what root is. Okay, root is the administrator account or super user account. Now what I just did was sudo su, right? Sudo then space su, which is sudo super user, right? Next up we have script, which is a series of commands you can run in an environment that converts each line to a source code, not any source code, which many hacking tools use scripts themselves. Now we have shell and we have terminal. Terminal is what I'm using right now. Okay, terminal emulator is what I'm using, or the terminal is the command line interface of Kali Linux. All right, we already know that Kali Linux is very essential for cybersecurity professionals due to its open source nature, right? It's flexible and it's compatible with various security tools and various security tools. Okay, let's just go into the details. We have file hierarchy structure, which is boring, which let me just show you this. Okay, let me exit this. Home. All right, not desktop, go back. Good. As you can see here, we have home, bin, var at c. Where's bin? Bin should be somewhere close by. Okay, we have sbin, we have bin, we have sbin, we have home, we have lib, which is libraries, we have var should be here somewhere. Yep, we have it here. So these are the file hierarchy structure. We also need to know that there are permissions. We have 3 types of permissions. We have the read permission, we have the write permission, we have the execute permission. We also need to understand command line, right, to master our command line. But before that, let's dissect this. Today here, I want us to understand one thing: the basics of the command line interface, right? Now, what are the directories? We have, okay, we can go to cd root. Will it work? Yes, it is working, but I don't have the permission. As Kali, I don't have the permission, so I need to do sudo cd root. cd not found. Okay, good, which means I cannot even go there at all. Okay, now the dash root, as we have seen here. Okay, let me just make this, shift it here, make this right. Good, no problem here. The dash root is the super user's home directory. Okay, the dash slash bin and slash sbin, they are essential binaries and system binaries, while the slash var is the or are variable files such as logs and databases, while the dash temp or slash temp is the temporary files which are automatically cleared. Then we have the slash user or USR, which is user installed software and libraries. And as I mentioned before, we have file permissions, which is read, write, and execute. We can manage our own permissions. Okay, let's look at ls.ll. Okay, .l. Right, what can you see here? Here you can see dr directory, read, write, execute. Read dash here is supposed to be for write, this execute, write, read, write, execute. So we have 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? We have three sections, right? Okay, I'll explain this later. Let's continue. Well, if we have time, I'll explain it. But okay, you can also change your password, which is PASSWD. Okay, you can change your password, which I don't want to right now. Okay, the file systems, I've explained some of the file systems. Next up, we're going to how to find yourself. Okay, I don't know where I am. All right, I don't know where I am here, so I do pwd, right? Put into working directory. It will show me where I am. Now let's move to cd not root now, home, Kali let's change this to desktop. Where am I? I can see desktop here, but how did I get to desktop? Let's remove this, clear. How did I get to desktop? I got to desktop by, let's put our print working directory, home Kali desktop. So if you are lost anywhere, just do your pwd and you'll be able to find where you are. You can also check your login. Let's just say who am I. Okay, it's already here. I'm Kali, right? Now let's do sudo su, which is my root, right? As you can see, it shows it here. Remember the time we opened ls, ls, which is list dash space dash l. When we did that, we had Kali. Now we have root here, root and Kali, which means root is this user here, but we're still using Kali system, or the Kali. Well, it's quite a bit complicated. This is your own user. This is the system you are on, or system you are on, right? I can exit now and then we'll go back to using Kali, user Kali. Okay, moving on. We have done, okay, I wanted to do who am I here. Who am I? I'm root, right? Now let's exit and still do the same thing. Who am I? I'm Kali. Let's clear the screen. For those who normally use Windows, the command interface or command line equivalent for clear is CLS on Windows. Okay, now CD, as you know, it is what? CD is change directory. I can change directory. Let's move it not to, let's see, etc. Will it work? Yes, it will work. Let's do ls switch, a lot of things, right? Let's clear the screen. CD now. Okay, good. You can also do cd dash dash. It will take you to home, right? pwd home, right? cd. It have taken me to my original listen. So now, as you can see, I can use home, I can also use Kali, but then if I go to, instead of using my Kali, I can use any other user, especially my super user. All right, you can use the you can use cd like this dash dash to move up one level, right? cd dash dash to move to move up one level. If you want to move up 2 levels, I'm coming. Let me change my directory to to desktop. I'll show you something. If you use dash 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 dash, okay, it's not there. Not there. Good. If you use 2, you can move if you use this 2, you can move 1 level. If you use this and this, you just go back to your own level, or should I say the original level, which is your normal CD, right? Clear? Okay, good. Now you can list your contents as I've showed you. Yeah, okay, for those who use command line interface on Windows, dir, the command dir is the same with ls, right? Now ls.l, I mentioned this before. ls.l will show us the permissions, those who own the documents, those who create, when this thing was created or when this was modified. Okay. If you want to get help for any application, let's use aircrack. No, aircrack. Aircrack-ng. Just help. Right. This will show you. This will show you the help manual, or if you think help will not do well for you. Okay, if you think help will not do well for you, just put let me just man aircraft ng. That is manual aircraft ng. Okay, to give you the whole manual that came up with aircraft. This works with almost all the applications for Linux. If you want to find stuff, there are some commands you can use to search for stuff. Example is locate, right? Locate what? Not locating, pardon me. Locate aircraft -ng. Okay, to take time to locate, right? As you can see, and it located any place that it found aircraft-ng. All right, this is a way of locating or finding. Or you can also find, right? If you are looking for a binary file, you can use this command, where is aircraft-ng. Yes, now that is a binary file. Okay, you can also look for which, right? This which is very specific. It only returns the location of the binary in the path variable in Linux. So let's move on. Managing permissions, chmod. Okay, give me a minute, clear my screen. Now let's move to home desktop, right? Home desktop. Now let's create a file. Okay, I think, okay, yeah. As you can see, I just created a file, a text file, right? It's now under this w7 txt.txt, right? Now I can change. Okay, chmod. I can change the ownership of this if I want to. There are some commands I still haven't touched because of the short time we have. Okay, touch is to create, right? Touch is to create. We still have others which I'll show you just shortly. Okay, instead of 6, okay, let's see 600. Let's see ls-l. Are you seeing something? Okay, maybe. All right, let's change. Okay, 755, right? 755. Now let's do our LSL. As you can see, the we even changed this to this, and we even made it executable, if I'm not wrong. But now note this: the read, write, execute is there. The read, write here for this section is not there. For this section is not there. The right section is not there. And we can also change ownership, right? Okay. Now forget this. Change ownership. The user. Well, I want to change ownership to root. Root and root again. Sorry, C, not chmod, but cwn. Sudo. Okay. Now, what did you notice here? The thing is locked up, right? Why? Let's look at ls -l. The owner is no more me, so I have to change sudo's coming. Let me change it again. Good. Now let's do our ls l. We're changing ownership, right? Now we can the user here and the group. This is the user, this is the group, right? Now for the user can use this, the group, which is a total of 8 objects, 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, 8 ought to be 8, yeah, but here there are 16. Don't worry yourself with the rest. Now moving, you can modify your files using nano and vi. Nano is, well, before that, okay. Later on, if you follow us, we're going to look deeply more on from shell scripting to computer networking, to networking devices and rules, to common networking protocols, and even programming for cybersecurity when using Python, when using C++ and C, and when using HTML and JavaScript. All right. I'll advise you to use your computer. If you don't have a computer that can use a default search in a default operating system, Kali Linux, I'll advise you to use something called just go to there's a Kali Linux kernel terminal, right? Terminal, not on your Play Store or App Store. There's another store which I really won't mention it here, but contact us to get that store so that you can start using these commands or familiarize yourself using your phone. You can use these commands on your phone but using special applications. Okay, thank you for the time we have spent. I'll see you the next time. Also, don't forget to propel yourself, because this is a tech x business program. Thank you and bye. Oh, before I say bye, civi pacem parabellum. If you want peace, be prepared for war.
Wow, that was very insightful and wonderful, Mr. Inua Daniel. I mean, you've made me fall in love with cybersecurity. I never knew it was as interesting as this. Who is also thinking same? Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm going to delve into cybersecurity after the session. Thank you so much very well for that, Mr. Inua Daniel. Guys, let us put our hands together for Mr. Inua Daniel. Alright, so the next person we are going to be having in our session today is our guest speaker. Do you know who is our guest speaker? I'm going to introduce you to our guest speaker. So pay more attention as I reveal the profile of our guest speaker. And our guest speaker is no other person than Olatunde David Akombi. So pay more attention as I read his profile. Olatunde David Akobe is a Nigerian researcher pursuing a PhD in material science and engineering at Case Western Reserve University in the United States. His research focuses on integrating geospatial data for agricultural and environmental applications. Akambi has received several accolades, including a first-place award at NSF ERC CASFA Annual Symposium. He is also involved in mentoring students, promoting STEM education, and supporting cloud infrastructure operation for 14 countries under the Deeper Christian Life Ministry as a certified AWS solution architect. I'm sure you guys are already anticipating the kind of guest that our guest speaker is going to bring to us. So let us pay more attention. And at the same time, again, I hope your network connection isn't bad at all. Alright, so let us get our notes ready, get our pens ready as we dive into so many hot discussion as our guest speaker take us into interesting topic.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or let me say good day, everybody, wherever you are in any part of the world. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. And first, I'm expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the InStride Pathways Youth Foundation for organizing this impactful event. A special thanks also goes to Mr. Deyinka, the visionary founder of this remarkable initiative, for his unwavering commitment to empowering young people to achieve their dreams. Your dedication and your work in this foundation, they are truly inspiring. So as you equip youth with tools, with resources, with guidance that they actually need to succeed in their chosen careers. So this is a very great initiative that is going to really help you. And let me take this moment to also introduce myself bravely. My name is Olatunde David Akambi. And like many of you, I've walked the pathway of navigating my career journey, starting from my undergraduate years through my NYSC at the Case Western Reserve University, Cleveland, Ohio, United States here, where I'm working on the application of geospatial big data, satellite images in agriculture and environment. And a lot of opportunities have come, challenges are there. When I look back, I'm actually grateful for all the steps I've taken, but had my times of downs, so you can't shy away from that. I remember the uncertainty that actually came after my NYSC days on questions like, okay, what is next thing? What do you do next? Everybody finished NYSC, packed their loads, and started running. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay? How do you turn your dreams? How do I turn my dreams into reality? These were actually real struggles, and those who have completed NYSC or who have finished or who are finishing NYSC, you should have that kind of thought. But this also became opportunity for growth, for self-discovery. Today, I'm excited to share insights from my experiences, the lessons I have learned, and the actionable strategies that helped me navigate along the way. And in this session, we will talk, because as I talk, you will be talking in your own mind, reason together about how you can navigate your career journey after NYSC. And more importantly, how can you start preparing for career success even as an undergraduate student. It took me some time to learn that there are a lot of bounties and goodies that you can actually utilize as an undergraduate student. You know, I said I studied computer engineering, and there are a lot of skills that possibly if I'd acquired on time during my undergraduate studies, I might have gone far beyond where I am today. But I'm grateful because I am where I am by God's grace. By the end of this talk, this interaction, I hope you will be able to walk away with some practical steps to take charge of your future and a renewed sense of confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. And it's very important to talk about career, to talk about accomplishments, because you need to start preparing yourself. The time of preparation is now. And you need to think ahead. You need to look into the future. You need to look at who you are, who you can be. And don't look at others because your pathways are different. Everyone is running, but the way everyone runs is different. Our tracks are different. So I'm going to discuss and have this chat with us, this talk with us. Think about this in 3 ways. Number one, I'll be starting with the undergraduates. Now, if you're still in school, you have great opportunity. The truth is, career doesn't start after graduation. It starts now. The earlier you take action, the more prepared you will seize opportunities. We've seen people who had finished undergraduates and became real CEOs and great startups of big companies that have changed the world. I was given a scholarship in 2023 by the African Society in the United States here for excellence. And the keynote speaker that came that day is a very big person in cybersecurity, one of the big tech in cybersecurity, the companies and in cybersecurity in the USA. He was a Nigerian. He migrated to the USA and added that, and with his profile, you will see that he only had bachelor's degree and he had gone to places. So take actions very early. And I'm going to tell you about how to do these things in 4 perspectives. Number one, discover your passion and strengths. My passion is different from your passion. My strengths are different from your strengths. When I talk about it, I'm not talking about the physical strength. Your physical strength is strength as well. You need to ask yourself some questions. And I want to ask yourself now, what excites me? What makes me, there are things that you don't need somebody to propel you to do. What are those things that you love doing? What am I naturally good at? Your answers will help guide your career path. Take time to explore it, even if it means trying different things before finding direction. For example, I was almost offered an admission to study medicine. I don't want that. I don't want to be a doctor. If I want to be a doctor, maybe a doctor of philosophy, PhD. Okay, doctor, that one. But I don't want to be a medical person. I don't like it. Okay, how about engineering? Well, mechanical engineering, anything that do not, anything that does not actually coalesce into applications, I'm not actually so much interested in that. So I follow my passion, computer engineering, computer science and engineering. Discover your passions and strength. Number 2, build relevant skills. Hali. Beyond your academics, you need skills. Don't just be, I want to get A. That is what some people do all their lives. And that is part of the error we make. Don't undermine the A's. You need them because you cannot stand on some platforms. For example, if you want to come to the United States, if you don't have good CGPA, it's going to limit you in one way or the other. So, yeah, you need the CGPA. You need a very good grade. In fact, I recommend it. But not just that only. Beyond the academic, you need skills. And aside that, if you want job, employers, they value graduates that can communicate effectively. You have to develop your communication skill. How do you develop that? By communicating. Work in teams. Don't live an isolated life. Work in teams. Work with people. Don't just live your life alone and solve problems. Look at problems around you that you can solve. Innovation comes by putting an end to a problem. That's innovation. And don't think innovation could be something so extraordinary. No, it could be just solving one small thing, small problem, and you become an innovator. You know, the things I did and became global, that I was invited here and there to come and talk, and the Nigerian Punch, the Nations, and other international medias, they were carrying that, and people were reaching out to me. Okay. When I did that, I didn't think it's actually big thing, but it's catching attention and putting me on platforms that I never imagined I can actually be. Learn these soft skills while developing technical abilities. Don't just say, I know how to join wires. Yeah, you know how to join wires. I know how to clip things. Yeah, I know how to use my hands. But there are some soft skills that you need to learn also. Use your breaks, your leisure time, not on social media, not watching what a celebrity is saying. Take online courses. Volunteer for community projects. When I was an undergraduate student, I was a great tutor. I taught students. The students I taught, many of them, because of the impact, went on to study the course I was studying. Many of them are outside Nigeria now and doing fine. Impact people. Volunteer. It's never, everything is not about money. Community projects. Are they cleaning in the community? Join them, volunteer. Do internship in organizations, renowned organizations. Don't waste opportunities. Look at opportunities around you. Explore. For example, you can walk up to a professor and say, sir, if you want to be a researcher, can I be an intern under you to work on some project? Just give me anything to do. No payment at all. You're not receiving any dime for that. They will gladly allow you. For example, you can explore platforms like Coursera and LinkedIn for they offer affordable certifications in areas ranging from digital marketing, data analysis, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. In fact, in a country, most you are from Nigeria, and if you're from Nigeria, you can apply for on those platforms and get those certificates free of charge by applying for financial aid. And they will give you, will just take the course, take exams, you will do great things. Number 3, expound your networks. Somebody said your network is your net worth. Build connections with lecturers. Connections very important. Some of us, we learn that very late. We don't build connections. Build connections with professionals. Build connections with your peers. Attend career fairs. Even webinars, seminars like this one. You know, this kind of program, some people will never attend. They think there is one uncle somewhere or one auntie somewhere that is going to help them. Actually, connection can take you to the place of work, but connection may not be able to get you the job. Because when nobody wants to employ liability, everybody needs assets. You know, my NYC, after my NYC and I finished, I worked a little like an HR in a parastatal in an organization too. People come. And there are a lot of, when you see some things, there are red flags. Because look, this one cannot deliver. On platforms like LinkedIn, follow leaders in your field and engage with their content. For example, I'm very free. You can search me on LinkedIn and you can add me. And if I like something, for example, most of my LinkedIn connections are either from my institution or from people I'm working with in the United States. So the challenge with network is this. The connection may be from A to Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You may only know A, but your help can come from Y or W. And you will need to connect A, B, C, D, E, F before you get to Y. So, learn from those platforms instead of just Facebooking and checking pictures. Number 4, stay open to learning. Learning never ends. So as a student, take advantage of your time. This is the best time you have. You have a lot of time. Don't say, I don't have time. I don't have time. I discovered that I don't have time now because that time I had. What are you doing? In fact, as a student, I myself, I was schooling and I was working. How do I mean? I was teaching to earn money aside the free tutorial I was doing for some people. You have advantage of time this period. Learn beyond your curriculum. Explore coding. Coding is relevant in everywhere. R, Python, C++, C#. Learn the relevant coding skill that is related to your field. Don't say, hey, I am in arts related courses, or I am in commercial related courses. I'm in accounting. I'm this. You need it. Graphic design, you can do that. Public speaking. Many people, they have stage fright. I remember when I was in a primary school, I was to represent the class, my class in the debates, and I stood in front of everybody. I know what I want to say. And I got to and I was the chief debater. What did we call it then? I stood in front of them and I forgot everything. But with time, I told somebody recently, I said, if you're able to gather all America together, because America has a very high population. America is the third most populated country in the world. If you're in one place, if possible, and they give me a platform to face them and talk, I will talk without blinking eye. I will talk without shaking. I will talk without getting afraid. You develop to get to that point. It doesn't just start in a day. Public speaking, learn to speak in the public. If there's an opportunity in the class for somebody to present, present. The skills can open doors for you where you never imagined. That is the reality. I'm going to go to the second part of this talk. That is to those who have completed their NYSC, or those who are about completing, or those who are in the service year. Navigating your post-NYSC career accomplishments. And I'm also going to talk about 4 things. The undergraduate, I talked about 4 things. Number 1, discover your passion and strengths. Number 2, build relevant skills early. Number 3, expand your network. Number 4, stay open to learning. I'm going to talk about 4 things here also. Number 1, be intentional about your service year. Be intentional about your service year. Your NYSC year isn't just about wearing khaki and passing time or passing out parade. Now I am government picking. That was the way we used to say then. After NYSC, what next? When I finished my NYSC, we did the passing out parade, April 4th, the 4th of April. During my NYSC, I was doing the planning. I was doing some other things, getting money, and I was minimizing my spendings and saving some money. I put all of it together. I commenced my school the 4th of April. So by the time we are finishing NYSC, I already have a school. I already got a location in my the town where I served. I already have a school. I already contacted the carpenter. My chairs were ready and tables. The board, the whiteboard, I have already gotten the marker, the ID card I will be giving the students, everything put together. I've already done that. I've already secured everything. I've already made flyers. I've making an announcement. I'm starting. And I have students. Aside that, that was this thing. I was able to employ people. People were working for me. And I was also doing some other things. If you are looking for NYSC, if you have opportunity to choose a place that aligns with your career goals. Don't just waste that 1 year. God is giving you opportunity of that 1 year if you have actually squandered your undergraduate days. You will not have that free time you have in NYSC days again. I was privileged because I can talk for hours about NYSC, because after I finished NYSC, I worked another, and I'm a pastor. I became a pastor of corpus. So there are a lot of batches of core members that came under me and left. The big question is, what become of you after NYSC? NYSC is just 1 year, and you just get the peanuts, the allowance that they give to you. And if you have not seen that small money before, it looks big to you. But by the time you get it at the end of the month, by the time NYSC ends and it stops, you will discover it's nothing. Be very careful. Be intentional about your service year. Number 2, develop a career plan. I just told you about my own career plan. And I already had it in mind also that the school is just for a short plan. The long-term plan is I'm leaving Nigeria, and I was making the process. You have to get the national passport. I was making preparation. Nobody knows. Everybody was doing this, doing that, until I left my family, and I came to United States here. Decide what you want to achieve in short term and a long term. If your dream is to become, for example, use this period to research your market, good business plan, looking for a job, tailor your CV and practice your interview skills. Like I said, there are a lot of people. The CV is watery. The CV is terrible. And if you want, okay, like me, maybe you want to study more, you need to prepare. It doesn't just come in a day. It doesn't just come within 1 hour. You need time to prepare. After my NYSC, let me do the calculation. Yeah, after my NYSC, I was in Nigeria, working, running my school, doing some different things for 5 years before I left. So you know what it means. 5 good years before I left Nigeria. So don't just do things anyhow. Number 3, adaptability and continuous learning. Adaptability. The job market is competitive, and in fact, it's becoming stiff, and it's constantly evolving. Stay updated with trends in your industry. I gave a talk to some singles. There was a single program in a church in the USA. I was invited to come and talk about computing, data science, and all that to them. And I gave them a statistics of some jobs before the 6 that many people will lose job. And that is the truth. The accounting clerk, all those ones, they are fading. Stay updated with trends in your industry. For instance, if you are in tech, like I am, learn about AI, artificial intelligence. I don't say use AI. Learn about AI. Learn about cloud computing. For example, I am a certified AWS solution architect. That is cloud computing. If you're in agriculture, don't just say, I know corn and beans, and go beyond that. There is precision farming. Do you know about that? There is agri-tech solution. I'm a computer person. I'm using satellite images. I'm using big data. I'm using computer and all of that to resolve environmental and agricultural problems. And I don't even know that what I was doing will go when I did it, when I was doing the distance, I didn't know it's going to go far the way it went. In fact, when I was asked first to present my work, because I was on my master's then, and the research, within 1 year, my professor said, you don't need to wait for 2 years to defend your master's. I'm already satisfied with the kind of work you did. Come and present. I was looking, what have I done? What have I done? Said we need to publish this work. Really? What? I don't see the big deal in what I've done. But when I started seeing, and it was going platforms, and so people started calling me here and there, even the media, Punch, and international news media, started having contact from people, getting celebrated. Oh, great things, this is a new innovation. No, I talk about innovation. Innovation doesn't mean doing big things. The job is solving one small problem. Or it's ongoing. Somebody might have known about the problem I resolved, but will not see it as something big to do. Learn about AI, learn about cloud computing, and whatever your field is, bring in the latest trend into it. Leverage your NYSC experience. Don't underestimate what you have gained during NYSC. If you use it well. Do you teach in school? Highlight your teamwork, your problem solving, your adaptability skills when applying for jobs. Every experience, take notes, adds value when framed correctly. I've seen a lot of CVs. The CVs are trash. Every experience you have, if you frame it correctly, it adds to you, to your value. And as I said, I mentioned 4 things here. Be intentional about your service here. Develop a career plan. Number 3, adaptability and continuous learning. And number 4, leverage your NYC experience. I'm going to talk about we're talking about undergraduate students, we talk about NYC and post-NYC days. To sustain this growth, you need 4 things also. Number 1, resilience. Number 2, integrity. Number 3, lifelong learning. Number 4, giving back. Resilience. Challenges will come, but don't give up. Push through setbacks and learn from failures. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Everybody that is celebrated today, what they did is not just what they just get accomplished one night. They were failures. But they learn from that. Integrity. Employers value, Employers value trustworthy and dependable individuals. Let your words match your actions. Number 4, lifelong learning. Never stop learning. Read books. I still read books, attend seminars, keep improving yourself, attend to conferences. Be ready to learn, relearn, and unlearn. Relearn, unlearn. Don't stop learning. Giving back. That's number 5. Don't forget to lift others up. Look at this foundational, an example of organization impacting lives through empowerment. Lift people up. We rise by lifting others. Lift people up as you go up. As you're growing up, lift people up. I do that very well. As I wrap up this, let me leave you with these thoughts. I want you to bring your thinking cap again. Success doesn't happen overnight. Never. It's a journey that requires preparation, hard work, and persistence. And to cap it up, God's help. Whether you are an undergraduate student or graduate student, like postgraduate student, they call it in Nigeria, start where you are. Take note of what I want to say now. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. Doing nothing is a failure. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Remember, your future is in your hand. Let me see your hands. Say, my future is in my hands. This hand. Your future is in your hands. But you are not alone. Organizations like what we have now, the InStride Pathways Youth Foundation, they are here to support you. They are here to guide you. Take advantage of these resources and don't hesitate to connect with people who can inspire you. And learn in life, because you might not know where you will be tomorrow. So build yourself today to have a better tomorrow. And don't destroy yourself today. Don't join loafers, roamers, and those who we call those days NFA, no future ambition. All things are possible. And if you believe it, because if you look at the word impossible, if you separate I am from possible, and you put apostrophe in between I and N, impossible is even saying, I am possible. So, thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing each of you accomplish great things. Together, we can achieve excellence. Together, we can go places. Together, we can stay on platforms, speak with who is who, kings, and get to where we never imagined we could ever get to in our day and generation. Once again, thank you for listening.
Wow, Mr. Olatunde, that was very, very interesting. I really love your speech. Thank you so much for such a wonderful, insightful, and interesting speech that you have for us today. I really so much appreciate you. I'm so excited that I was the moderator for today's session. I mean, I've learned so many things, and I also believe that you guys have learned so many things as well, right? Thank you so much, guys, for having me here today. My name remains Abdulakim Aishat, and I hope to connect and meet you guys again. See you next time at Propel 1.0 Day 3. Bye.